Inside the Parisian apartments of Jane Birkin. Jane Birkin, the iconic English singer, philanthropist, and fashion icon, was born in Marylebone, London, on December 14, 1946. Throughout her teenage and young adult years, she auditioned for a variety of movies and TV shows, landing a few roles throughout this time. But it wasn't until she landed the lead female role in the film Slogan that her career was quickly launched into superstardom. It was there that she met Serge Gainsbourg, and together they would become one of the most famous artistic duos of the time. After the film, they fell in love, got married, and moved to Paris, settling on the once uber-bohemian Left Bank, buying an apartment and together creating a home of their dreams. Their Parisian neighbors stated, "On any given Sunday, residents of the area could count on spotting a tall, striking woman dressed in faded jeans, a loose tunic, and canvas trainers, toting an overflowing straw basket, as she pursued the seasonal fruit selection at the organic farmers market. Or walking a grunting bulldog down Saint Germain's narrow cobblestone streets. Some passers-by, enwrapped in her aura, would excitedly whisper, 'That's Jane Birkin,' to no one in particular. Others would simply nod bonjour to their stylish neighbor. Indeed, Jane Birkin was and forever will be a fixture of Paris, especially in the Saint Germain neighborhood of the city's Left Bank. It was the place Jane called home for nearly 6 decades. While Jane and Serge were together, they found a stylish home and decorated it in an unconventional fashion. The home had beautiful light and large windows made of small panes of glass. But to compensate this light, instead of putting drapes over their windows in their main living space, they painted the walls black, creating an extraordinary contrast, which only few would dare to have done. The floor was made of cream and black tiles. There was a stone fireplace opposite the windows, and at the far end of the room was a hallway which led to the many other spaces in the home, as well as the foyer and the staircase. They decorated their entire home in an eccentric fashion, filled with organized clutter. The home kept accumulating over the years, objects they adored, liked, and simply couldn't let go of. Being a musical family, it was in the living room that housed their piano, recording equipment, various musical instruments, record players, and so on. It was in this large space that they would give parties and often entertain their guests by playing and singing their famous songs. This space, which Jane is sitting in, is much more minimalistic and would have been a room that had been decorated early on in their relationship. Their library again had a maximalist feel, with black lacquered bookcases filled with the latest copies, old editions, and their favorite classics. There was an old typewriter in the corner, a comfortable leather chair, the latest technology, a phone and printer, a record player in the corner, and objects of great value scattered about the room. The kitchen was much more relaxed and comfortable in its appearance, with white brick on the walls, and that same floor tiling as in the living room. The dark wood cabinetry, open pantry, and exposed glass fridge made this kitchen feel as though one were at a country estate. And it's here that we're reminded that this was a family's home. One of the guest rooms of their home was also used by their children. This room, with toys scattered about the floor and the bed, is rich in texture and depth. The black walls create an effect which highlights the floor and various patterns that layer the room. In the master bedroom, the black walls continue along with the same carpeting, this time with no layered rugs. The space doesn't have any overhead lighting, but has lights on the floor that shine directly up to accentuate the variety of antiques and decorative objects which fill the room. Another one of their guest rooms, pictured here, is done mostly in red. Red walls, drapes, the canopy of the bed, and the tuft headboard. There was light natural wood furnishings and a light patterned quilt that goes over the bed. Jane lived in this apartment from 1969 until 1980, when the couple ended up splitting. But Serge would go on to live here until his death in 1991. After he passed, the care of the home was in the hands of Charlotte, their daughter, and has been left essentially untouched, as the home is currently being transformed into a museum, which is set to open in September of 2023. After her separation with Serge Gainsbourg, she lived in a few apartments before moving into this one. This apartment, located just a stone's throw away from her old apartment with Serge, is located in a building set back from the street behind gigantic wooden doors. It is a French country-inspired marvel. This apartment, like her old one, is filled to the brim in organized clutter. Decorated in fine antiques, flea market finds, and colorful, impactful wallpapers. The home is bright, comforting, and has a lived-in feeling to it, where the rooms seamlessly transition from one to the next. The apartment itself is perfectly proportioned. Her kitchen has everything a chef might need, and everything is on display, from the spices to cooking utensils to the pots and pans. There is no shame in all that she has, she simply embraces it, creating a whimsical-like layered feeling. Her entire apartment is the perfect example of high-low decoration. Over the industrial stainless steel kitchen hangs a gilt and crystal chandelier. Through the gray French doors in her kitchen, we can see onto the conservatory. This room has been transformed into a cozy area, which embodies a tropical jungle-like theme. Just off of the home's salon is a large terrace which overlooks the apartment building's inner courtyard, complete with glass lamps, a vine-covered pergola, and pots of flowers, herbs, and different vegetables. Jane left this home in the mid-2000s, leaving it to the care of her daughter and family friends. This was the last apartment Jane lived in until her death on July 16, 2023. As she was notoriously private in the final years of her life, not much is known about this final Parisian apartment. It can only be left up to our imagination. But we can only assume how intricate, thoughtful, and avant-garde it might have been compared to her previous apartments. Jane has certainly left her creative mark on the world. From her unique songs, to her fashion, to her acting, philanthropy, and of course her extraordinary interiors. Her Parisian neighbors will feel the absence of a joyous presence at the farmers' market stalls and on the crooked Parisian streets that she undeniably loved and called home. Thank you so much for watching Cultured Elegance. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. And comment down below telling me the thing that you'll remember most about Jane Birkin. You can also consider becoming a channel member today to have access to exclusive perks for members only. See you in the next video.